Hey folks, welcome to Verified Investing Trade Setups in Action video. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. Today's date is Monday, April 19th, 2021. Today I'm going to go over one trade and show you how I made this trade so you understand the metrics behind it, and ultimately go over some setups and key levels on some very commonly traded stocks by investors. All right, so let's start here with Square. Square, I took almost 11% profit today in basically 4 trading days. We shorted Square right up here, and now this was a great setup, and I want you guys to understand why I knew to take this trade. All right, we took it in Verified Investing. Members, again, pumped out about, I would say about 11% across the board, some making a little bit more, some making a little bit less than 11%. I made, again, just under 11%. But the idea here was you had an extended chart short term into double top. If you put a trend line right there, you can clearly see double top right there. And the idea to short this not only came from the technicals of the trade, but it was also a Coinbase IPO idea. And the idea here, folks, and if you've been around long enough trading stocks or commodities or anything like that, you know that there's generally a letdown in the market or in a specific stock when something happens. So it could be earnings, right? So oftentimes the stock will run up into earnings, and then the earnings come out really well, and the stock ran up so much that it just sells off. It's kind of a sell the news event. Well, Coinbase's IPO was much the same. So I noticed that you were into double top resistance going into the Coinbase IPO last week, and it made perfect sense. Not only do you have a double top technically, but then you'd have that pullback. There was all this hype going into the Coinbase IPO. So short Square. Square obviously moves on Bitcoin now since they got involved in it, and that's exactly what we did. So in very short order, we made an easy 10% short on Square, and the trade was booked today. We took our profits. Now, it's not to say Coinbase can't go lower, but making over 10% on Coinbase in a matter of 4 trading days, you can't really say, let me wait for more on it, especially when technically you filled a gap right here, and you've basically done almost a 50% retrace from the high to the low here of this recent move. So it made sense. It was the smart decision to take some off the table. Okay, let's go into some trading opportunities here that are coming up, folks. I want to look at some of the most popular stocks out there. Plug Power. You can see this stock had this gigantic move to the upside and is now traded back down. It continues to come in. A lot of investors have been asking me, okay, where is the buying level on this? And the answer is pretty simple here. You're going to get into some good support right here. You can see the stock was just going up and then consolidating, up, consolidating, up, consolidating. Then it broke out right here. It broke out above this previous high, and this is when the big move began. What that tells me on a technical basis is that's your spot to get interested on a long swing trade. In fact, maybe even an investment if you're looking at a longer-term trading opportunity. The price point on this is around $19.25. It's still at $25.35, so it still has a ways to go. But again, when you're falling $2, $1.75 a day on Plug Power, you could get there very, very quickly. So essentially anything below $20 gets interesting to me on Plug Power, and that's where I will be looking to buy. Now let's take a look at another fantastic one that people love to trade, this SOS. It's a Chinese stock that does Bitcoin mining. Obviously, the stock is down today. Where is this level going to be? And it's still a little ways away, but it's not super, super far. So you have this pivot. See this consolidation here? That's your first area to look for a long play. The level's around $3.50. So $3.50, I would consider beginning to accumulate there. I will also watch Bitcoin, though, because if Bitcoin continues to break lower, then you obviously have to respect that and be a little careful. The secondary level here is at $2.85. There's a ton of support. Pivot here, right here, right here, and then you got the break up there. So again, I would start a position at 350 and add more at around 285, and then basically, again, there's so much support in this lower range. I would anticipate that SOS would probably gain upwards of 50%, maybe even 100% from that level for an easy score on that trade. Okay. A couple other stocks to look at. Let's take a look at NIO here. NIO's been another fantastic one. You can see, again, you have a couple support lines here. These are not major supports, though, in terms of swing trading. Maybe day trading. These were day trading lines from today we were watching. You can see the bounce did come off of, or just in the last couple days off that first line. The big levels right here. So look at this consolidation and gap fill. So I love kind of consolidation like this because it shows you that there was support right here and then the breakout occurred. In addition, you got a gap fill there, a big gap. That's telling me that's your target on this in terms of a swing trade. So NIO, $21.50 to 60 cents. That would be your major support. It's still got a lot of downside. And again, folks, keep in mind that a lot of these stocks are still generally, in terms of swing trading, expensive. And I know it seems crazy to think that, when NIO was at $65 and now here it's, at 36 and potentially I'm talking about going to $20, $21, it seems like, oh man, could it actually get that low? If there's one thing I've learned from history is that absolutely stocks, just like they get overbought to the upside, they're going to get oversold to the downside at certain points. With the markets as pricey as they are right now, I think you have to think that that's a good possibility. In addition, on NIO, you have this very clear-cut bear flag, bear wedge pattern right here. So you have this big drop here and then a bear wedge. Any sort of breakpoint right here sends it easily down to that level of support. But once down there, it actually becomes somewhat intriguing as a swing trade and even maybe as a longer term hold. For those of you that are members of Verified Investing, I've talked about the Shanghai Composite looking like the same chart as Bitcoin prior to the Bitcoin breakout. It's almost identical, and it makes a lot of sense that again, Bitcoin has been this kind of high risk entity that's just getting adopted, and it's becoming bigger and bigger and more mainstream. And really, the Chinese government has kept their economy and their markets kind of restricted. But in time, you have to assume that's going to open up, and that will be a huge boom for their economy there, and for the stocks in the Shanghai. And the Shanghai, again, if you see 4, 5, 600% gain, you're looking at a lot of these Chinese stocks having monstrous moves. And again, whether it's Vipshop or Alibaba or Baidu or GSX or IQ, those are all potential names there. GSX today having a decent day, second day in a row, it's up, very oversold down here. Short-term target on this for a bounce, in my opinion, is back to about 45.5. So I do think it gets a bounce. And even at 45.5, you're only retracing to this little low pivot. So anyways, enough said on that front. I encourage you to come to inthemoneystocks.com. At the top of the website, you'll see my name. There's a drop-down underneath. You have verified investing alerts there, verified option alerts. Verified investing alerts is the flagship service. It has daily videos, weekly live broadcasts where you can ask me questions and see my live charts. It has educational videos, plus the trade alerts, every live trade, just like the SQ that we banked over 10% in just a few days. That was given out there live, and when I took the profits today, I posted live as well. So it's all there. Options is kind of, I look at it as an add-on. I know some of you guys just trade options, but for me, options are too risky to just trade with all my money. So obviously, I'm going to do mostly stocks with a little bit in options, and the options trades are in verified options. But again, verified options doesn't come with the daily videos. Just to put in perspective, well over 400% profit this year in verified investing alerts with stocks. It's been a tremendous start to the year, and volatility should increase as we get into the earnings season this week and next week and the week after, which should make for even more profits. Great time to be ready for great moves in the market. Have a good one. I'll see you soon. Take care.